Why do you think that this, well, the recession that we had last year and the job losses that we have, why have they fallen so disproportionately on women?
Well, disproportionately on women and disproportionately on women-run and women-led businesses. It's across the board. Women have disproportionately lost jobs because they're more in the service industry. Women have disproportionately risked their lives because they're frontline workers. Women who are privileged enough to work from home have lost productivity, looking after the kids, having the kids hanging all over them on the Zoom calls, while men have gained productivity. And women-led businesses have disproportionately been hurt. They had smaller bank loans before at higher interest rates, but given that they are more retail and service, they've been hurt more as well. And so this is, whether we want to call it somebody called it a pink pandemic today, we call it a she-cession, has hurt women. And we at Ellevest are looking for ways to help women bring themselves back.
Jen, let me turn to you and welcome back, Jen, and also to you, Sally. We haven't seen you in a while, but we're glad you're with us. Jen, how has your business, as a women-owned business and one that caters to women principally, how have you had to pivot and change it over the last year to ride whatever tailwinds you've had and avoid the headwinds in the business?
Yeah, so demand dropped for us over the pandemic just based on what we do. We cater to women who want to put their closet in the cloud, have variety in their wardrobe, less need for that in a world where you're wearing your pajamas every day. So we use the COVID timeline as an opportunity to strengthen the business operationally and financially and make changes that would improve our margins across the board. But I realized that we were in a fortunate position where we were able to do that because we had raised significant venture capital in the past, and we had supporters behind us financially that were giving us the space to operate at lower revenues. You know, this is where really the rubber hits the road in terms of, we talk a lot about women only being able to raise 3% of total VC funding. Well, that means, and when you do raise money, you're raising far less. So the average woman raises $38 million in venture capital to a man's $157 million. So clearly in difficult times, men have a bigger bank account to rely on to kind of weather the storm. And that's really been the difference with Rent the Runway. We had to make cuts very quickly in order to shore up our bank account and ensure that we could use this period of time to strengthen the business.
Right.
All right, Sally, turning to you. This is Frank Holland back at CNBC headquarters. I want to follow up on Jen's point. Some new research from Morningstar last week shows that women, they invest in their retirement and even stocks at a comparable percentage to men. But because of the income gap, they just have less money to do so. Are there any strategies that women can employ to help make up for that lack of capital or having less capital?
Well, you know, we at Ellevest are all about getting more money in the hands of women. And so as we looked at how we help women invest, we help women take care of their debt, we give women learning and coaching. And as we looked at how can we help women, how can we come together to help each of us heal coming out of this pandemic? One important number stood out, and that is that women want to spend more intentionally. 90% of women want to buy from women-led businesses like Rent the Runway. The challenge is they often don't know who they are. And so Ellevest is launching the very first national as well as local cashback and rewards program called the Ellevest Women-Led Collection to provide these rewards for women who shop women-led businesses. So we get more business to companies like Jen's, and we get cash back into women's pockets. So sort of a win-win. I reached out to Jen. I think I sat here and emailed her on a Friday at 3:43 and said, here's this idea. I think she got back to me by 3:49 and said, count us in, because we all really need to come together to support each other in a way men always have in order to help us. And we also are bringing in Goop. We're bringing in The Honest Company, Birchbox, et cetera, a group of great national companies, but also a whole bunch of local companies. I always say Sally's Pizzeria, for example, so that women can be broadly shopping women-owned businesses.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.